Hey everybody, this is Rick Denton. Hey, today we're going to talk about shaky head fishing, the equipment that I use to catch a lot of fish on. Well, there's about 5 different things that I put together to actually catch a lot of big fish. And for example, right here, we're going to start off with the Yum Dinger. I trail up behind my shaky heads about 90% of the time with the Yum Dingers. I really like these baits. They have scent in them, salt. They're really awesome. They catch a lot of fish. The colors are outstanding. They match the hatch a whole lot of what I'm fishing and with the substance that I'm fishing. But the key is the JB Jig football head. This jig right here is just a great shaky head lure. It stands up like this in the water when you're fishing it, and the paint will last forever on these things, and the hooks are just super sharp. I'm going to pull this worm off right here. I'm going to show you this shaky head. This is a 1/2 ounce. I want you to look at that. And it's been used. I've probably caught about 20 fish, 30 fish on this bait already. And I want you to look at the paint job on there. It still has a shine. Anyway, this right here with the Yum Dinger is the way to go for catching these big fish. Now we're going to talk about the line that I'm using. Right here on my fluorocarbon, I'm going to use K9 products. This is outstanding fluorocarbon by K9. It don't curl, it has no stretch, it barely even frays. It's just super strong. I usually lead her up on a 17-pound test because I fish a lot of brush and a lot of cover, so I want that strength not to get messed up. I fill my reel up with probably the best braid I've ever used. It's K9 braid. I'm going to tell you a little story, what I did about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I actually had some 45-pound test K9 braid. There was a fellow who broke down on the lake, Fayette County. And I stopped by to ask him. He was waving me down. I stopped and said, "Hey, what's wrong?" He said, "I have no power to anything in my boat. I can't start my motor. I can't run my trolling or anything." Well, the wind was blowing out of the north a little bit, and he was probably about 400 yards from the rocks. I didn't have an ankle rope or anything to tie up, and he didn't either. And I said, "Hey, by the time I run back to the ramp and come back, you're going to be so close to those rocks, you might even end up with your boat there." I got the K9 braid. I had a thought. I'm going to run about 5 strands together, tied together about the length of my boat. I have a 22-foot Triton. It's strong stuff. So I hooked it on the back of my boat. He tied it on the front of his boat. And do you know what? I pulled that man back to Oak Thicket Park. That's about 1.5 miles across water and about 5 to 6 mile-an-hour winds. I pulled him with K9 fishing line. Believe it or not, it happened. Now we're going to talk about the reels. This right here is a Piscifun ST20. This is probably one of the best reels I've ever used in any occasion that I'm doing. This stone right here is this awesome. It throws a mile. It has so much strength in it with a 17-pound drag. It's lightweight, it's compact, and you don't get tired fishing with it. Matched up with the Kistler KLX Spin. Medium heavy, 7 foot. This is an awesome rod. All the Kistler products are top-notch, #1 and made in the USA. These rods right here have the backbone, the strength to haul in anything. Matched up with the JB Jig Shaky Head, the Piscifun ST20, and the Yum Dinger with the KLX series rod, you can't go wrong. Now I'm going to tell you how to actually fish these things. A lot of people fishing with bait casters, and they call it shaky head. It's called that for a reason. And with the JB Jig football shaky heads, they pretty well stand up on the water when you're fishing these things. So on a spinning rod, you have the reel on the bottom and the bait caster on top. And I know you all know this, but the weight is simulated to the bottom. So you can use your wrist, and it balances the reel out. On a bait caster, you have a tendency to actually pull your whole body and your shoulder into it, which is fine. But it doesn't work the bait 100% correctly. A spinning rod, everything is in your wrist. You don't want to move your forearm or your shoulder when you're fishing a shaky head. It's all in your wrist. That's where the balance of the reel comes in, shaking your wrist. Here's a few tips to catch a bunch of big fish. Try them out. Try the Kistler rod, get your Piscifun reel, the K9 fishing line, and also the JB Jig Shaky Head, trailed up with the Yum Dinger, and you will catch some big fish. Hey everybody, this is Rick Denton. Little tip for the day. Tight lines, good luck fishing. Talk to y'all later.